Good morning, my dear friends. Hope all of you are healthy, happy, and in good moods. Okay, now what you are seeing on the screen, it's Venus. Venus, god of love. Everybody, everybody should love. We must have universal love. If any person says that I do not love anybody, is not a good person. We must love each and every person. We must love our mother, father, family members, friends, relatives, our colleagues, our seniors, our juniors, everybody we have. It is universal. But here, this Venus is considered as goddess of love in Rome. In Rome, she is considered as goddess of love. In Telugu, in ours, it is Rati Manmada, like that. Rati and her husband Manmada. It is Venus. So beautiful, and that's why she is called the goddess of love. If you see, Venus is the Roman goddess of love, beauty, and sex. She is seen as mother of Roman people through her son Aeneas. She is having son. His name is Aeneas. Julius Caesar, all of you know Julius Caesar. He was an empire. His wife is Cleopatra. She is the most beautiful woman in the world, Cleopatra. And now we are doing cesarean sections on his name because in his empire, when he was the king, a pregnant lady died and she was taken to the burial ground to cremate. Then the baby came out and it happened to be alive. The people surrounding that, who has witnessed this, went to the king and told the same thing. Then he thought, and then he came to a conclusion. Even if the mother dies, the baby inside may be alive. Why should we cremate her, the baby who is alive? Why should we burn? Like that, the Julius Caesar has thought and passed a rule that if a pregnant woman dies, bring out the baby out. If the baby is alive, please take care of that baby. Otherwise, you cremate along with the mother of that baby. From then onwards, how to bring that baby out? We cannot bring it out through vagina for the natural process. So what the people have done at that time was they have cut open the abdomen and brought out the baby. That process till now we are continuing, but not for the dead person. It is for the living person. When there is CPD, capillopelvic disproportion, when there is wrong presentation, when there is an indication for cesarean section, now we are cutting open the abdomen and bringing up the baby out. This is called cesarean section on his neck. If you are having time, you go through that novel, Julius Caesar. I acted as Cleopatra in that Julius Caesar play when I was in 10th class. When I was in 10th class, in my school, I enacted as Cleopatra. Okay. She is typically represented as a beautiful woman who? The Venus. Her symbols are myrtle, that is a type of plant, or roses. In Greece, Venus was known as Aphrodite. Aphrodite. The first temple dedicated to Venus was found in 2093 BC. 293 BC. Now, why I am telling all this? On the name of this Venus, on the name of this Venus, a group of diseases, they were nomenclated on her name, on Venus' name. That is venereal diseases. The word venereal disease came from the goddess of love, that is venereal diseases. Later, it has been changed. Then there were only classically the 5 diseases. Later, something have been added. The name has been changed. Now it is called sexually transmitted infections, sexually transmitted diseases, and then reproductive tract. Even sexually transmitted infections or diseases, if we call, it is having some stigma, some shy. The people are not coming forward for the treatment. They are delaying and they are transmitting the disease to his partner or partners. And that's why another name came, that is reproductive tract infections, because in addition to sexually transmitted infections and diseases, the organs of sex, these are having, though they are not involved in sex, they may get diseased, they may get the infection. That's why the organs which are present in the reproductive system, if they are infected, it is called reproductive tract infections, though not sexually transmitted. So today we will discuss about STIs and RTIs. It is a public health importance. What is the public health importance of STIs and RTIs? Why should we discuss about this? If you think, when a person is ill, if he is having some disease for the hand, for the leg, for the head, for that matter, anything, he is aware of it. He goes to the doctor, takes treatment. Leave alone that one. How many times we will wash our face? How many times we will wash our hands and feet? But how many times we wash our private parts, that is sexual organs, which are the actually the first pathway for the baby to come out from the womb to the universe. The first pathway. How many of us are doing it? There we are failing. And nowadays, another disease, that is HIV, human immunodeficiency virus, AIDS, has come. There is a link between STIs and HIV/AIDS. That's why nowadays this STI has got the importance in reducing the HIV infection and spread. That's why it has got a large amount of public health importance. That's why we are discussing this. What are the objectives? To describe the impact of STIs, RTIs on individuals and the community. The impact of STIs, RTIs. Individual, if he is an ulcer, if he is having an ulcer over the penis, if she is having a discharge from the vagina, how she feels, how she works, what is the output? It is decreased. Individually it is decreased. Community-wise the production is decreased. That's why that impact of STIs and RTIs on the individual as well as the community, this has got the importance. To discuss the basic epidemiology of STIs, RTIs from a global, national, regional perspective and local. Global, national, regional and local perspective. How it is being spread. What is the incidence? What is the prevalence of these STIs, RTIs? Identify the major factors contributing to the spread of STIs and RTIs. the major factors which are contributing for the spread of STIs and RTIs. We think that a bacteria is responsible. No, bacteria is only the causative organism. But there are the factors which are contributing for the spread of this bacteria, or for the causation of this STI in other people. Those factors we have to think, the background, why he is involved in multiple sex, why the people are going for commercial sex. What is the reason? If we stop at that level, then we can stop the STIs. Describe the need for prevention and management of STIs. Why should we prevent the STIs? Why should we manage? He has enjoyed, let him suffer. No, not like that. It is not stopped with him. It will go to his partner. It will go to his sons or daughters. So, to describe the need for prevention and management of the STI is most important. Otherwise, in the meantime, he will spread. So, the prevention and management of STIs and RTIs. To identify the challenges to STI, RTI prevention and management and ways to meet them. What are the challenges? What are the challenges? It is a big challenge. It has got the stigma, and nobody wants to tell that he is having a sexually transmitted infection, sexually transmitted disease. Nobody wants to reveal it. It is a hidden disease. Hidden means he is hiding it. That person is hiding it. Especially the woman with who are not having empowerment, woman empowerment. They cannot tell, even to husband, even to her mother-in-law. She cannot tell to her neighbors. She can tell only to her friends who are more ignorant than her. That's why to identify the challenges in management and prevention of these STIs. These are the things, challenges which are in front of us to tackle. Definition. Reproductive tract infections. Any infection of the reproductive tract in males and females. Any infection of the reproductive tract. As you know, reproductive tract, in anatomy has studied the reproductive system in males and in females, how it is structured, how it functions. And any infection to the tract or organs in males and females, it is called reproductive tract infections. Please mind it, it may not be transmitted through sex. It may not be. Just like a liver is infected, just like any other organ is infected, the reproductive organ also may be infected, the tract may be infected. There is nothing wrong in getting the reproductive tract infection, and she need not, or he need not hide it. He need not have any stigma. That's why to treat these STIs, the name has been changed nicely to RTIs to remove this stigma. If a person is going to the STD clinic, sexually transmitted infections hospital, naturally the people seeing him, they will laugh. They will have a lesser opinion about him. But if he is going for this reproductive tract infections part, that OP, then nobody feels. That's why, that is the reason why these STIs have been changed to RTIs now. What is the definition of sexually transmitted infections? Infections caused by germs such as bacteria, virus, or protozoa that are passed from one person to another person, mainly through sexual contact. If the bacteria, virus, or protozoa or any organism is passed from one person to another person mainly through sexual contact, then it is called sexually transmitted infection. If that infection has turned out to be a disease, it is called sexually transmitted disease, STD. Here, normally, sexually transmitted infection occurs first. After that, STD may occur. RTIs. RTIs in both men and women include STIs. All STIs may be RTIs. All STIs. But all RTIs are not STIs. Please mind it. All STIs are all STIs should be included in RTIs. But all RTIs are not STIs. Please. RTI in women also include, in addition to the sexually transmitted infections, disruption of normal vaginal flora, just in the case of diabetes or so, candidiasis and bacterial vaginosis. It is not transmitted through sex. She is not having any contact with anybody, but she may be having candidiasis or bacterial vaginosis due to her physical status, that diabetes, or due to her improper management of menstrual hygiene, like that. And then postpartum and post-abortion infections. Postpartum, after delivery, the reproductive tract may be infected. Or even after abortion, the tract is infected. It is not through sex it has come. It is due to our procedure. We should not call it as STI. So it is RTI, reproductive tract infection. Infections following some procedures like intrauterine device insertion. Insertion of the intrauterine device, IUD, for the sake of contraception. As we are introducing this IUD into the uterus, anything, even speculum or the inserter, may be infected. Even if we do not autoclave the gloves, or if we do not use the proper sterile gloves, then the infection, we may insert infection into the woman, the girl. So, disruption of the normal vaginal flora, postpartum or post-abortion infections, even just for the checkup, if she comes for checkup, bimanual vaginal examination or per speculum examination may cause infection of the vagina, infection of the reproductive tract in the woman. So be cautious. We should not introduce any infection. We should follow such procedures that she is not infected. RTIs in men also include prostatitis, infection of the prostate. It is not through sex. Prostatitis, epididymitis, these things are not through sex. Okay. HIV/AIDS. As you know, there is a difference between HIV and AIDS. HIV is only virus. AIDS is a syndrome, a group of diseases. HIV is an STI. Do you agree or not? HIV is STI or not? You think? It is STI. It is transmitted through the same behavior. 85% of the AIDS cases, 85% of the HIV infections, they come through sexual route only. 85%. If you take 100 people with HIV positive, 100 persons with HIV positive, out of them, 85 people have got this HIV through sex only, sexual route only. But here you must remember. Okay, I will tell in the AIDS class the difference. Or otherwise I will tell now. But the transmissibility, the strength of transmissibility is only 1%, 0.1% through sexual route. Through blood transfusion, it is 99%. You think why it is happening? Blood transfusion is having 99% efficacy of transmitting the HIV from one person to another person. 99%. But if you see in the HIV patients, the cause this blood transfusion is only 2 to 3%. Because in a lifetime, a person may have 1 or 2 blood transfusions or even nil in lifetime. But how many times he will have contact, sexual contact in his lifetime or her lifetime? By calculating this, if you see, now you may be clear about this one. If you have got any doubt, we can discuss it. Okay. Risk of STIs and risk of HIV. Here, this is the clinch of the program. Why we are giving importance for STIs and why we are having a national program for this. This is the clinch. Please understand clearly. If HIV is transmitted, if 100 people with STI, STD, 100 people, they are having sexually transmitted diseases. If they are exposed to HIV, out of them, 20 people will get the infection of HIV. Understand? If 100 people with they are having already sexually transmitted disease, not HIV. They are exposed to HIV. Then 20 people may get the disease. At the same time, if 100 people without STD, no STD, they are healthy. If they are exposed to HIV, then only one person will get. Now you understand what is the risk of STI? It is 20 times more, 10 to 20 times more than the non-STI. That's why we have taken this point, and STIs we can diagnose. For STIs, we are having treatment. We are having complete treatment. STIs are curable. We can cure them. By reducing these HIV, these STIs, by reducing the load of STIs, the incidence of HIV can be brought down. You understand? HIV is not curable. To reduce the incidence of HIV, if you reduce this STI, the risk of transmissibility is lessened. That's why we are taking care of STI. And it is very easy. We are having complete drugs for that. We are having curable drugs for that. That's why we have taken this advantage. Simply to tell, if you want something, if you want to purchase a scooty or a car or something else, you will not ask the father. You will ask your mother first. She will tell to your father and he will sanction it. In that way, we are utilizing this STI in reducing the HIV. This is the link between STI and HIV. If we take care of these STIs, HIV can be reduced. The incidence of HIV can be reduced. Okay? Is it clear to you? Okay. Incidence, that is new cases, you know, as you know well, prevalence also, the total number of cases in the defined population at a specific point of time or per year. The prevalence means the total cases, the treated, the cured, the dead, everybody. Oh God. The incidence means only new cases. Okay. Situation in the world. How is the situation in the world? 340 million new cases, that is 34 crores. 34 crores of new cases of curable STIs are occurring every year. 34 crores of people are suffering. They are getting the disease every year. It's not a small number. 34 crores. Out of this 34 crores, almost 80% they are from the developing countries only. 80% are from the developing countries. Why? We know the social problems and everything. We'll discuss that later. 80% of the STIs are coming from the developing countries, not the developed countries. 10% adults newly infected with curable STIs. 10% of the adults, you understand how much is the load of the adults, not population. 10% of the adults are newly infected with curable STIs. 12 million new cases of syphilis. 62 million new cases of gonorrhea, gonococcal infection, maybe of the reproductive tract, or even during the birth, the neonatorum, gonococcal ophthalmia neonatorum, the newly born child, he may get this infection if that mother is having gonococcal infection in her cervix. A foul smelling discharge. 90 million new cases of chlamydia. 90 million. You understand? 9 crores. 176 million new cases of trichomoniasis. This is the load. Like this, in this one thing, the STIs may not occur in a single disease. The person may have combinations. The person may have combinations, not one disease. Situation in India. The prevalence of suggestive symptoms of STIs in women, it is 25% or 30%. That is 23 to 43% in women, but in men is only 4 to 9%. Why? Why women are more vulnerable? Why women are getting more STIs? Why they are suffering? It is a pathetic situation. A person who is giving birth to a new person, she is getting the infection, not the male. The culprit male is not getting the infection much, but the woman is getting. Why means the anatomical structure, the vagina is inside, and there is a lot of space of epithelium, this vaginal canal, which is hidden. In the male, it is all exposed. The mucus is very less. That's why these are the reasons. And as soon as he gets the disease, the male person will go to the doctor and he will get the treatment, but a woman can't. Even if they start, they will have incomplete treatment for women. Like this, there are so many reasons. We'll discuss later. 6% of men and 12% of women are attending OPDs found to be having symptoms suggestive of STI or RTI, as per the ICMR study. Multicentric study. It is multicentric study. If 100 OP is coming, males, 100 males are examined in the OP, out of them, 6 people are having STIs or RTIs. If 100 women are attending the OP, 100 women, 12 women are having. It's almost double. Those who are attending, I am telling, actually having so many in the females. The females will not come. They do not know that they are having a disease. This is the problem. In the male, the ulcer, it is apparent. It is seen outside. But in the female, she may get pain, but in some syphilis also, there is no pain also. Hidden ulcer is there. She cannot see, she cannot feel, she cannot have the suffering of pain. That's why they will not come for treatment. STI clinic data indicates syphilis 57%, chlamydia 20 to 30%, chancroid, painful ulcer, very painful. That is 10 to 35%, and gonorrhea, that is 8.5 to 25%, 23.9% gonorrhea. The shortest, short incubation period, not shortest, one of the shortest incubation period is for gonorrhea. A person, okay, I will not go into details. Hospital-based studies among men indicate HSV, herpes simplex virus. Herpes simplex virus, once it has entered into the body, lifelong it will be there in the body. You cannot remove it. Herpes simplex, that is almost 15%, 3 to 15%. Human papillovirus, that is also 5 to 14%. Human papillovirus. Then community-based laboratory supported STI-RTI prevalence study. I see this is also another study. Prevalence of STI-RTI are 6% among adult population. As per their study, it is out of 100 people, 6% of the people, adult population, they are having STIs. This is the study. Factors contributing to STI-RTI spread. What are the factors that are spreading, responsible for this? The human behavior, high risk behavior. The people, high risk behavior. High risk in the sense, high risk of getting the infection. High risk behavior. Lack of access to healthcare. There in the front of this STD clinic, they will write sexually transmitted diseases, Sukha Vyadulu. Who will come for that? He is afraid that somebody will see him entering into that one. That's why nobody is coming. As they are not coming, they are not getting the treatment. This is another. Lack of access to healthcare, lack of awareness about STIs and RTIs. Migrant population, this is the main problem. Migrant population, even for COVID also, that migrant population, that is the major problem. Migrant population, they have migrated from one place to another place for the sake of work and labor. Naturally, they are seeing some people enjoying, like that, they change their behavior. Or any other circumstance also, there are so many to illustrate. Healthcare providers not adequately trained. How many STD specialists are there? They are not trained properly, adequately. And then poor medical services. Are we giving the complete treatment for the poor man? If he comes, we'll give one proc of procaine penicillin and send him out. Tomorrow, we ask them to come. Will he come? Losing all his daily wage on which he is living? He will not come. Like that. Poor medical services, hygiene and environmental factors. Hygiene. If you see, even menstrual hygiene, only 48% of the women, they are using the correct diapers. They are having the knowledge, only 48%. We are telling that we have developed, we have studied, we have educated, we are so much of advanced country like that. No, we are not having that knowledge about the menstrual hygiene properly. Hygiene and environmental factors, hormonal factors, and then hormonal factors. In this, I need to mention about this media effect. How that media is spoiling, and how it has reduced the age of menarche. Previously, it was the average was about 13 to 14 years, but now it has come to 11.5 years. Why? The hormonal factors. Why the hormonal factors? What our mind thinks, what we see, that is that will have thinking in the mind and the production of hormones. So hormonal factors, socio-economic factors is main important. Socio-economic factors. The low socio-economic people, for the sake of their bread and butter also they will do. Even for compulsion, forceful, like that, there are so many things. For rich people, It is experimental. What will happen if I do like this? How will it be? I want to experiment like that. They are going for that one. High risk and vulnerable groups. Who are these? High risk groups. Sex workers, female sex workers, male sex workers, MSM, men sex with men sex with men. That is MSM. Lesbians means girls, woman sex with woman, lesbians. And heterosexual, in heterosexual, that is female sex workers, that is for money or something. Men sex workers, it is also increasing nowadays. Women who have multiple partners, If you think you can understand the problem in villages, even in villages, in towns, men having sex with men, including transgender, transsexual individuals, and then intravenous drug users, sharing the same syringe and having sex with those men sex with men. Partners of various high risk groups. Here, partners of various high risk groups. The partner of one of these high risk group, she may be innocent, but due to the high risk behavior of her partner or his partner, he is at high risk. Understand? Okay. Vulnerable groups. Adolescent boys and girls. Adolescent boys and girls are vulnerable group. There is one study that shows these STDs are more from the first choice comes to 20 to 24 years. The first group. The second group comes to 15 to 20. The third group comes from 25 to 30. It is not a continuous one. The first one, 20 to 25. Second one, 15 to 20. The third one, 25 to 30. This is the hierarchy. In that way, the people are getting. Adolescent boys and girls, street children. Men and women who have to stay away from families for long periods. Men and women who have to stay away from families for long periods. But this I should not tell, I need not, I should tell, but I will not tell. Because the people in prisons, the people in military, the software engineers who are away out of the country, the partners. There, the other partner, here another partner. Both are vulnerable. And then hostels. In the hostels, that is men sex with men, lesbianism, all these things. Not in medical colleges, but not in our colleges. There are some things. It's not here. I am not blaming our system. Factors increasing risk of transmission. Biological age, I have told now. Sex, females are more. Immune status, low immune status will definitely attract the infection. Behavior, personal sexual behavior, other non-sexual personal behaviors, IDU, intra-drug users, even without any risk behavior. But this, my professor used to tell, non-penetrating sex. When the HIV came in the first years of this, existence of this HIV, introduction of this HIV, then they practiced non-penetrating sex, no penetration. Social problems, and then status of women in the society. How a woman is looked after. For that sake, Nirbhaya, Disha, all these laws have come. How much useful it is, we do not know. Status of women in the society, sexual violence, child marriages, most important one, child marriages. The age of the girl when she gets married, when she is ready for marriage, she must be over 18. She must be like a earning member. That is, she must live according to her own, not depending upon the husband's income. Then only she will have empowerment. She need not do job, but she must be having that capability and confidence and decision making power. All these things. Then only she should get married. The venereal disease, classical venereal diseases, I have told you, the syphilis, gonorrhea, chancroid, lymphogranulovenereum, granuloma inguinale. It is also called Donovanosis. The other thing is herpes simplex. Herpes simplex, which is a lifelong one. This STDs, agents, what are the agents that are causing these STDs? Bacterial agents, that is Neisseria gonorrhoeae, Chlamydia, Trichomonas, and Treponema pallidum, causing syphilis, Haemophilus ducrei, Mycoplasma, all these things we have studied in microbiology just recently. There should be some integration. If we integrate all these things and put together at one place, in one class, 10 minutes each subject like that, integration, applied microbiology, applied uh, medicine, applied biochemistry, like that, applied anatomy. How? If we integrate all these things and put in a nutshell, that will be useful. Like that, Shigella group, and then Campylobacter, and group B, Streptococcus, bacterial vaginosis associated with organisms. Then viral agents like human herpes virus 1 and 2, human herpes virus, herpes simplex, 2 is herpes simplex. Human beta herpes virus 5, formerly it is called cytomegalovirus. Hepatitis virus B, hepatitis B, hepatitis A is transmitted through contaminated water. B and C also it is transmitted through sexual. Human papillomavirus, molluscum contagiosum, this warts and all these things we are seeing. Human immunodeficiency virus HIV, protozoal agents like Entamoeba histolytica, Giardia, and then Trichomonas vaginitis. Fungal agents like Candida albicans and ectoparasites outside the body. Ectoparasites, that is Thyris pubis, Sarcoptes scabies, and then pediculosis. Another thing, pediculosis. These are 3 types, as you already know. Pediculosis capitis, which infects the head, the hair of the head, hair follicles of the head. Pediculosis corporis, that is hair follicles on the body, on the chest wall, hair, in the axilla, like that. And the third one is pediculosis pubis, in the pubic hair. It infects the pubic hair. These are specific. Pediculosis pubis will not go to the head hair. That will not come to the pubic hair. These are specific for their places. And this pediculosis pubis, it is transmitted through sex. Epidemiological determinants, agent factors, depending upon the disease, the agent, we have to study in detail the natural history of the disease. But due to lack of time, I am not discussing all these things. Host factors, age between 20 to 24, That is the first, I have explained previously. 20 to 24, followed by 15 to 19, and then 25 to 29. The same thing I have told. Sex morbidity by infection is high in women. Sex, if you take the gender into consideration, in women it is more. Marital status, sexually transmitted diseases are more in single persons, single, not at married. Diverse, separated, diverse, separated, forced to stay alone, forced to stay alone, that is away from the partner. Socioeconomic status, individuals from lowest socioeconomic group, these are more vulnerable for sexually transmitted infections. Demographic factors, rural to urban migration. From rural areas, the people are going to urban areas and they are seeing the fashions and everything, the culture, the pseudo culture or whatever you may call it. And they want to imitate them, but they are not having that income to imitate them. That's why certain people, they are vulnerable, uh, they have no other choice to go for other ways and means. Rural to urban migration, it is the major part in transmitting the STIs. Increasing educational opportunities for women, delaying their marriage, you think yourself. Increasing the educational opportunities for women, delaying their marriage. Population explosion and increase in the number of young people. In India, if you see the pyramid, within 10 days we are getting one important day, that is World Population Day. World Population Day, July 11th. Population, July 11th. Why it has come in the next class, I will tell about that one also. Why we are doing World Population Day on July 11th. Okay. Social factors like prostitution, we should not call it as prostitution now. We should not call them as prostitutes. If we call, we will be prosecuted. Those are called commercial sex workers, commercial female sex workers, commercial male sex workers. That is the word they are using now, not prostitutes. Broken families, social disruption, social stigma, alcoholism. In the effect of alcohol, they do not know what they are doing. So, certain things, if you see, analyze these crimes of gang rapes or something, these crimes against the women or children in the young age group. Or the other day, the engineering student of one of the Guntur engineering college student, she suffered a lot. Deceived by two worst fellows, making love with them, and they have taken the blue films and they have blackmailed her. This happened to be one of those boys. He happened to be one of the son of a high police officer. That's why till now they have not shown his face, telling that his future will go, his future will be spoiled. He can spoil a girl, but his future should not be spoiled. What a selfishness! Deceiving by, of course, she should also be in limits. A worst thing has happened in Guntur Engineering College just few days back. Sexual disharmony, easy money. Nowadays, people don't want to do hard work. They want easy money. Emotional immaturity, urbanization, and international patterns. International patterns. What we are thinking is globally and acting locally. But our culture, don't forget our culture. Our culture is the best culture. Our system of family system This is the best, and the uh, any other country is not having. No other country has having such a good, tremendous family system in the world. We are lucky to be born in India. We must be proud to be Indians for that sake. We are having good family system. Risk factors: engaging in sexual activity when either partner has unhealed lesions. If a person is having lesion, an ulcer, uh, and before it is healed, if he is engaged in sex, even with his wife, then that is a risk factor. So when he is having a he or she having a sexually transmitted disease or infection, wait till it is cleared, it is completely cured. Otherwise, you will spread to her. You will be cured of with the treatment, but the bacteria, it is stagnating in her vagina, and again you will be reinfected from her. Like that, it will be there in the family. So, engaging in sexual activity when either partner has unhealed lesions, rectal or vaginal irritation or infection. Usually, the vagina is for the sake, but some people use anus also, which is a wrong thing. Perversion, it is a perversion. And uh, the epithelial lining of the rectum or anus is not suitable for this act. So it will get irritated and aberrations will occur, and then infection will occur. Even the vagina, the premature, that is a teenage, not teenage, the lesser age group, the epithelium, that is not protected. It is not so developed to protect her from the vaginal these diseases. It cannot tolerate. Sexual activity that may damage mucosal lining, squamous epithelium, I think it may turn to columnar, and this transitional stage, or before the transition stage, if she is engaged in this one, she may get infection. And then dryness, vaginal dryness. Some people, they come with a complaint of vaginal discharge, which is of non-purulent, non-greenish. It is quite normal discharge. It should be there. It is a normal phenomena. It is not a disease. It is for lubrication purpose. If the vagina is dry, that is, then the act of sex in the dry vagina will cause damage to the vagina, and like that, when there is aberration or damage to the vagina, even the external water what we use for the cleaning of the vagina may infect. That's why don't don't think that discharge is a bad thing. Healthy discharge. I'm not talking about greenish, foul smelling discharge. If it is greenish or foul smelling, it is definitely the infection. Vaginal dryness and douches, vaginal douches, what we use, if it is not maintained properly, it's also infection. Primary cancer, primary chancre of syphilis on the site of the infection. You see the chancre. It is syphilis. Syphilis, if you know about this syphilis, it is a very big subject. Without syphilis, once in the previous days, they used to call, without civilization, there is no civilization. Without civilization, there is no civilization. One of our prime minister, I should not tell the name, he died of secondary syphilis, tertiary syphilis, aortic regurgitation. Aortic regurgitation due to syphilis. The syphilis, the sexually transmitted disease, It will not stop at the sexual organ. It will go to the cardiovascular system. It will affect the aortic wall, aortic regurgitation. Due to that, we lost one of our prime ministers. Secondary syphilis, rashes on the palms of the hands, like that, if you see. And then gonococcal infection, purulent discharge from the genitals, purulent discharge, purulent, foul smelling discharge from the vaginals. If you see, the underwear is uh, discolored due to that discharge. Underwears are discolored. They are foul smelling. Burning sensation during urination. Burning sensation. Not only burning, frequency of micturition. Frequency. Once I have witnessed one incident when in Kakinada, in Ambedkar Bhavan, we wanted to use saris for all these commercial workers. Saris and some grinding missions for some of them to avoid this commercial sex working, this profession, to leave the profession and to live. We wanted to give the grinding missions, sewing missions, like that, the other way of life. Then 1200 people have come, women, 1200. What I noticed is they are always going to bathroom. If 1200 normal people are there, only 5 or 6 people may go within 1 hour for the urination. But here it is very busy. The bathrooms are very busy. Everybody is going for bathroom frequently. Then I thought, why? That means these people are having urinary tract infection. That is gonococcal infection. So frequency of micturition, burning sensation during micturition, and conjunctivitis also. Conjunctivitis. Especially when you are conducting a delivery, if the mother is infected, the baby may get the gonococcal ophthalmia neonatorum. That's why the eyes should be taken care of when you are conducting a delivery. Please mind it. Trichomoniasis symptoms in the females, greenish yellow, frothy vaginal discharge pattern. Okay. Greenish yellow, frothy vaginal discharge will come. Preterm delivery may occur in the case of trichomoniasis. Preterm delivery, that is premature delivery. Low birth weight of the baby, low birth weight. GM sustained culture, if you see, and that is pap smear infection, pap smear. Complications in the females, pelvic inflammatory disease. Okay, I think the time is over. Pelvic inflammatory disease, cervicitis in the males, urethritis, prostatitis in both male and female, fertility and reproductive systems. Even I have seen many people, many couples with repeated abortions. They have got 4 to 5 deliveries, 4 to 5 pregnancies, but not having even a single live child, because every pregnancy is ending with abortion. If we examine, she is having syphilis. Due to syphilis, repeated abortions with her. Infant infected while in the womb during pregnancy. The infant may be infected while inside the womb during the pregnancy. That lead to stillbirth, blindness, permanent neurological damage. I think I am crossing the time. Controlling and prevention. Okay, this we'll come to this in the next class. How to control the STDs. We will come to this one in the next class. Any questions? I think there is no time. You can share with me later. Where is this chart? Okay, we have not completed this one, this chapter, so we can discuss in the next class also as the time is over. Have a good day. Have, tomorrow is Doctor's Day. Please observe that one. Let us pay homage to the doctors as first line warriors of COVID and sacrifice their lives. Some of the doctors have died, expired due to this COVID. I think there are many questions, but time is not there. Let us stop at this. Okay. If somebody says, okay, I can stop it. If there is no response from you, how can I stop? Okay. 0 to 3. Okay. Okay, Babu. Thank you. Thank you very much.